Hi everybody, this video is about one thing that caregivers should never, ever do. The topic is why nursing homes pressure family caregivers to sign nursing home contracts and why you shouldn't. I'm doing this video to call attention to the pressure that nursing homes place on family caregivers, adult children, spouses, sometimes even friends, to sign nursing home contracts on behalf of another person and why you should never do this. This topic came up because I had a lengthy discussion with a caregiver this week who was being pressured by a nursing home where her mother was admitted after being discharged from a hospital. The nursing home kept calling and calling and calling, saying, "We need you to come down here. We need you to sign your mom's admission agreements. We need you to sign the paperwork." But in this case, the caregiver was smart enough to say, well, no, this doesn't sound right. The caregiver contacted me. In this case, the caregiver was not the medical or financial power of attorney. This person had no legal authority to be signing any type of documents. Add to this, the parents' mental abilities were a little questionable, as there had been frequent falls, a stroke, a hip fracture, and a diagnosis of mild cognitive impairment about a year before. So obviously, the caregiver is feeling very stressed out about being pressured by the nursing home to sign the documents. If you find yourself in this position, it's important to know the consequences of manually signing documents or giving any type of verbal consent or agreement for a person to be treated if you do not have formal legal responsibility. This means you're not the medical or financial power of attorney. You're not the trustee. And in some cases, even if you are, it's important to know how to sign. So, in this video, I'm going to share why you never want to sign a nursing home contract or really any other care contracts unless absolutely necessary, and what can happen if you do. And if you sign, depending on the circumstances, it's important to know that the debt collectors hired by the nursing homes can come after you. They can file lawsuits. They can file breach of contract or other reasons, and most of the time, the average consumer, the person who signed that document, has no idea what they signed, and they have no money to hire an attorney to fight the lawsuit. The people most often sued: adult children caregivers, a spouse, a power of attorney, a guardian, or a friend. Now, you might be wondering how I know about this. I'm Pamela D. Wilson. I'm a professional caregiving expert and an expert witness in court cases and an advocate. I've been doing this for 25 years. I've been helping older adults and their caregivers work through all of the health, the financial, and the legal aspects of caregiving, including when parents go to hospitals or they're placed in nursing homes or assisted living communities. I've actually been a medical and financial power of attorney for clients, a guardian, a conservator, and a trustee for many, many, many clients who have been in hospitals and nursing homes and memory care and assisted living communities. I've been the one who's dealt with the contracts and in some cases signed the contracts. If you want to learn more about me and my experience, just go to my website, PamelaDWilson.com. There's also links below this video to my website. So my basic, practical advice is never ever sign nursing home agreements, hospital agreements, any medical forms unless absolutely necessary, and I'll define absolutely necessary in a second. Have your elderly parent or the person who needs care sign after they read the document. What is considered absolutely necessary? Absolutely necessary would be if a person has dementia or Alzheimer's that has been diagnosed and they have been deemed incompetent or incapacitated through the court system, or if a power of attorney document has been put into effect according to the legal provisions of that power of attorney document, saying that the agent is able to sign and should legally sign because this person is incompetent or incapacitated. Now, if that's the case, you're not signing as you. You're not signing as you, the person, you, the individual, because then you, the person, you, the individual, can be sued. You're signing as Mary Smith, your title, medical power of attorney agent, guardian for John Smith, with no personal or financial liability. Never ever let a nursing home pressure you to sign documents if you don't have the recognized formal legal authority to do so. So let's say the train has left the station. You have been pressured to sign. You didn't know that you weren't supposed to sign. What can happen? Well, if there are unpaid costs by Medicare or Medicaid or a Medicare Advantage plan, and you signed as the responsible party or third party, you may be the one who gets the bill. This happens because you didn't take the time to read, understand, or ask questions about the nursing home agreement. How does this happen? Well, you know how it happens. You remember, you're thinking back. The people in the business office, they probably rushed you through a stack of paperwork 50 pages deep in 5 or 10 minutes by saying, well, this is what this means. You can read it later. Sign here, initial here. Well, what they didn't tell you is that that nursing home holds third-party signers responsible, even though under some situations it's not legal. They probably also didn't explain the arbitration agreement that you signed. That's a whole nother video. But unfortunately, you may not realize this until you get something in the mail, or the debt collectors start calling you, or you watch this video and you realize what you did and you're thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to be liable? Am I going to be on the hook for the bill? What did I get myself into? Why on earth did I sign? Well, it's important to know what you got yourself into. If you signed, request a copy of everything you signed so that you can go back and read it and understand what you agreed to. If you're signing, if you haven't signed, if you're being asked to sign, make sure that you sign manually. No auto pens, no electronic signatures. I have seen and been involved in a case where an electronic signature was given once. It was then copied and pasted on a lot of other documents that this person never read or agreed to sign. Also, be very careful if somebody calls you and said, hey, I'm calling for a verbal consent to treat your parent. Are you giving us permission? If you have to give a verbal consent, ask exactly what you are consenting to. Have them read you the consent form. Have a witness on your side who hears you consent and who makes sure that you know what you're consenting to. Otherwise, don't agree to a verbal consent. And really, in most cases, I would say never agree to a verbal consent. You always want to be there if you can, or be sent a copy of the document, look at the document, understand the document, know what you're consenting to before you agree. Now, while healthcare and nursing homes and hospitals shouldn't be all about money, in the end, let's face it, these providers need to be paid. They want to be paid. The National Consumer Law Center did a research study about nursing home debt collectors. Their study of the people they surveyed indicated that almost 50% of nursing homes made a claim or filed a lawsuit. Almost 40% initiated a guardianship or a conservatorship proceeding to make sure that they could get paid. Now, what happens when you get this bill and the debt collectors are calling? According to this study, the third party who signed the paperwork because they didn't know what they were signing, because they didn't know they shouldn't sign, almost 40% of those people negotiated a settlement payment. So you get a bill for $100,000. You may settle for $50,000 and you're on the hook for $50,000. Do not put yourself in a situation where you sign to be the legally responsible party for anyone if you do not have the legal approval and the legal protection to do so. Make the person who needs care read, understand, ask questions, and sign their paperwork. Now you might be thinking, well, what can consumers do about this? Well, as with most healthcare issues, it's a political issue. Congress should mandate that admission agreements for nursing homes can't impose financial liabilities on a third party who signs as a responsible party. But on the other hand, there should be more consumer education to tell people never sign if you don't have legal authority to sign. Just don't do it. Refuse. It's kind of like, would you sign a car loan for somebody that you knew was financially irresponsible? Well, maybe you would. But if you do, you know what's going to happen. You're going to end up paying off the car loan. Why put yourself in that type of position? So, I thank the caregiver who presented this opportunity for me to talk about this in a video this week. If you need further assistance on this topic, you can go to my website, PamelaDWilson.com. There's also hundreds and hundreds of videos here on my YouTube channel. You can request a one-on-one consultation with me by going to my website, PamelaDWilson.com, clicking on the Services tab. Scroll down to Elder Care Consultation. There is a form on that page you can complete. I'd be happy to talk about this topic or any other topic about caregiving, healthcare, financial, legal aspects of caregiving with you. I thank you all so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you again soon in another video. Please do, before you leave, click like, follow my channel, share this video with other people you know, and comment to share your story, or even if it's only to say thank you. Your participation here helps these videos find other people who would have never known that this type of information or education existed. I'll see you again soon.